So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast, post-match edition, where Aston Villa beat Crystal Palace 1-0 in a pretty poor game of football. I think it's fair to say. I don't care. Villa win at home, back-to-back wins. Absolutely, we can get overcritical of stuff at times, and sometimes, and I'm just reading a tweet here from Greg Evans, and I think I agree with it. Well, actually, I do agree with it. It was that that's what Aston Villa needed at home. We've had some poor form at home. We've had games where, the likes of Leicester and stuff like that, where we've just looked shaky. Today, we looked shaky for parts of that second half, specifically when we were 11 versus 10. But I'm not going to worry about it. You know, you have to build on foundations at some stage. And sometimes those wins can be foundations. Like, there's two ways of thinking about stuff like this. There's two ways of thinking about it. And I'm going to get a small little bit into the weeds on sayings here. You ever hear the saying something like that, papers over the cracks? And you can also look at it from the other side, and you can say that, you know, that yes, you maybe need a confidence builder like that. And that wasn't pretty today in parts, specifically in the second half wasn't pretty. But we got out of there with 3 points. And that's really the aim of the game. We are now on 34 points. We are now 7 points ahead of Crystal Palace, and we are still neck and neck with Chelsea at the minute. And you know, modus operandi is to climb the table, get to the magic number so that we're safe mathematically and climb the table. And today was exactly one more step on that rung as well. Looking there, Wolves won today as well. So just looking at there, Wolves are 7 points behind us, haven't played one more game. Crystal Palace haven't played the same amount of games, are 7 points behind us. 25 games played. That means there's 13 games left to play. Hey, it's Matt's corner. It's numbers corner here. But it's like we're looking healthy. Granted that we have granted that we didn't play very well for parts of that game today. For me, the real talking point for this game is two things. Fair play to the fella who said in the comments, I can't remember who it was, that we would win by an own goal. I hope you put money on that, because you are now probably dancing to your local estate agent to buy a new house, because I would imagine that was high odds. If you did do that, always bet responsibly and don't ever bet any more than you can afford to lose as well, everybody. We do not condone betting here. But the other one was the Czech Takura red card. Pretty nasty tackle on Boubacar Kamara. Didn't look good at all. He's gone off injured. Looks like it was an ankle injury. I see some people online saying it was a knee injury. To me, it looks like it's an ankle injury based on what I saw on TV. On TV. But wishing him a speedy recovery, because we can't afford to be down in that area. Albeit that we could have McGinn move in there. We could have Jacob Ramsey move in there. That's a nice access there, and Boubacar Kamara has been pretty pivotal for us, specifically with the likes of Leon Dendoncker being injured, Coutinho being injured. That's 2, if not 3 players now. If Kamara's injury is poor, that's maybe 3 players down from our midfield rotation in such a short space of time, and that becomes a bit of a worry, I suppose. Callum Chambers came in, played all right. He's not used to playing that position. He had one surging run. But fair play to him, to come in and not be expected to play in that position, albeit he has played there before in the Premier League. He did okay. But yeah, it was just one of those ones. We got out of there with 3 points. The team can build on that. There's some performances, or there's some parts of that game I think some players will want back. There was also some very good parts of that game. The goal was really well worked, albeit an own goal. But we come out of there with 3 points. Paddy is here. Going to bring him in. Paddy, I was just giving a little synopsis there as well. Really was, it was just one of those ones. We got out of there with 3 points, and I don't really care after that. And we'll move on to next week. Not really.
Yeah, well, look, we discussed it. We said it last week. We're going to win these games ugly, and if we win these games ugly, I'm a lot happier with that than throwing them away or losing 4-2 to the likes of Leicester. So give me a
Yeah,
performance like that any day of the week.
absolutely.
The one performance I am not bloody happy about is that of Craig Pawson. That guy is an absolute disgrace. He's absolutely brought on Kamara's injury himself. The Corey, I think it was his
Two,
third foul.
yeah,
In a,
and the 2 snaps at Bundia
yeah,
were
his third
yeah.
foul, nothing, and then the third foul, and bear in mind there's been 5 or 6 other fouls by Crystal Palace since half time before that actually happens, and then he decides to book him, and then he books us for our first fouls. He booked Mings for his first foul,
yeah.
Like, all you want is consistency. All of a sudden, he's realised, oh shit, I've let this go. Someone's now got injured because I've let it go. I'm going to book everybody. I'm sorry. These guys are ruining football. You can see it at every championship they go to. They're the worst performing officials at the championship. There was another incident. The ball went down the line. The ball was a yard over the line, and the assistant referee didn't put up her flag. She was too busy looking across the line to see who was offside. The ball was a yard out of play. You're just going, what? Like, Crystal Palace stopped playing because the ball was a yard out of play.
Yeah.
Flag. Anyway, that's he's the subject of my ire today. I'm quite happy to grind out a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
100%. We get 3 points. It's 3 points further out of the mess, but we deserve a bit of respect from these officials. And now we've got what looks like what could be a bad injury from Kamara, a player who we could do without losing. Like a lot of as I said to you before, 2 centre halves or the 2 central midfielders. I've a problem when one of them go down, but it's a bad one. You can tell he's not the kind of fella who rolls around on the ground when he's injured. And what annoyed me the most was they told him to take him off, even though the referee must have known he'd made an absolutely cowardly error not to book him for a second foul, which he should have done, and then the third foul, and then the fourth foul he ends up getting sent off for. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Palace came out for the second half just wanting to kick fellas. That's what I thought.
It was really strange.
They left everything in on the high press. Moreno got a bad one, which was studs right down onto the top of the foot. They've been booked for the last 4 or 5 weeks by Premier League referees. That's been a yellow card, except for today. So all it would have taken to stop that Kamara injury was somebody to just fucking grow a pair of balls and give a yellow card and calm the game down. Instead, he let it get out of hand, and it wasn't even a dirty game. That's the sad thing.
No, it wasn't. It was just all those fouls in short space. I thought we bossed the game in the first half, Paddy. I don't think that's unfair to say. 56% of the possession, limiting Crystal Palace to 2 shots on goal. One of them, their own goal was classified as a shot on goal for Crystal Palace. I don't know how who scored managed to mark that one, but they had 2 shots at half time, but only one was showing up in their shooting map. So they realistically only had 1 shot at half time. And, I think we marshaled them pretty well. Yeah, we invited pressure. It's always going to be one of those ones where you're going to be sitting on the edge of your seat, I think, with Villa, because of that invitation of pressure that happens. It's not nice. It's going to cause Paddy. I think one of the 2 of us are going to be rushed to hospital one of the days if Villa keep on doing this, because I know for myself, I actually got up when 5 minutes came up. I don't know what happened. I shot up out of my chair and I started pacing the room here. Because I was watching it inside this room. I don't know what it was. It was really weird. I was like, what is going to happen here? Because we were inviting pressure. We brought on Leon Bailey. Bailey, he stretched the play at times, but then it looked like everybody was just told to, okay, take it back, keep possession, pass it around, go back to Emi Martinez if you can. And that's fine, and it worked out for us. But I think we're so used to wanting to drive on and kill games, because we aren't a team we are a team, should I say, that's susceptible to losing that 1-0 or to losing that 1-0 lead against a 10-man team, but we didn't. And as I say, it's absolutely fine. We're coming out of this with 3 points. We're, as I said, there's definitely 2 leagues now going on at the moment. There's a 7-point buffer between ourselves and Crystal Palace and ourselves and Wolves, and we are looking up the table. I think it's fair to say we can turn around now and we can say we're looking at up the table. 1 point behind Brentford, albeit they have 2 games in hand. 4 points behind Brighton, and 5 points behind Fulham, who Brighton have 2 games in hand, and Fulham have the same amount of games played as us. You know, it's all about finishing as high up the table as we possibly can from here on out. And as I say, 3 points like that, dirty 3 points with a what was Anderson thinking for that own goal? I don't think I'll ever know. I know you have to slide in, but madness. It was mad just the way that he didn't even need to slide in. He could have stayed standing. I don't know what happened there, but I'll take it every single day of the week. One person I want to talk about in the game today, specifically in the first half, who I thought was brilliant in the first half, was John McGinn. Haired around the place, tons and tons of energy. He's looking like a man who's coming back to himself. Could have had 2 goals in that second half when we were on the break. One of the shots he had was I think went wide, and then the other one was blocked. And this is what I'm not going to criticize Callum Chambers. I'm not going to criticize Callum Chambers, but you can see how it's not his position. The ball comes in from Dina into McGinn, and Callum Chambers runs right across him when he has the box and when he has the ball in the box, and runs around the two what you call them, centre halves. Who are we playing? Who did we just play? Crystal Palace centre halves, and he kind of got in everyone's way, and then they all converged on McGinn. It's not a criticism of him; it just shows, that he's not used to being in those positions for those shots. But what I'm really getting at here is that John McGinn is somebody who's coming right back into form just at the right time for us, and we're probably going to need him now if Kamara's injury is bad.
Do we know what happened with Dendoncker? Why he wasn't in the squad? Just a personal reason, did it?
They just said he didn't train on Friday. I don't know what the story is.
I thought I read somewhere it was personal reasons. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Look, it could have been a completely different game had Ollie Watkins put away that chance just before half time as well. That kind of drew him onto us in the second half as well. That would have been game over as far as I was concerned. But look, we can't complain. We're winning games. We got a clean sheet. We're winning games. I'm totally okay once we're winning games and once we're out of trouble and once we're building for the future. We've a nice run of games ahead of us. There's no reason why we can't pick up more points and then go and enjoy our football.
2 best players in the field today for me: the right back for Aston Villa and the left back for Crystal Palace. I thought Mitchell was good. I thought Matty Cash was really good today.
I thought he was excellent. Yeah.
And I thought Panza was really good today.
I think he's back to full Matty Cash form. I don't see any reason why he's going to get left out of this unless he gets a run of bad games. He's been absolutely excellent since he came back in. When it was against Arsenal, was it Arsenal? Young came off.
Yes, I think he did. Yeah,
I thought he was excellent last week. He was excellent today. So absolutely can't fault him at all.
Yeah,
but we're light on the ground now. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what the personal reasons are, nor do I mind what the personal reasons are. Everyone's entitled to them, but we're going to need Dendoncker back in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it upsets the shape of the team. We need a team playing exactly as it is. We need McGinn in the position that he is because he's doing a great job. So hopefully, Dendoncker's in a position to be back next week, and fingers crossed.
I thought, sorry, I was going to get on to a completely different talking point. I suppose, I thought with the Boubacar Kamara piece, I don't know, it looked like it was a heavy challenge. Well, it was a heavy challenge. It didn't look like that. It was a heavy challenge, but I would say to me it looked like one of those ones that might cause bruising to the ankle, and
I'm hoping
he couldn't weight bear on it, as opposed to a break or a ligament damage or anything like that. I could be wrong. I saw it through a dodgy, sorry, not a dodgy, a completely 100% legal and above board television channel I was watching, but it didn't look like anything creased or crumpled or cracked or anything in it. I think it just looked like a bit of a heavy one that you take off your boots afterwards. And you go, oh, I can see it swelling already, and then hopefully it will only be a couple.
I'm not sure, Neil. I think it's a bad one. I really do think it's a bad one. Yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm genuine, and that's what the first thing I said to you when I came into the room was, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed at Craig Pawson for not grabbing the fucking game by the neck when they started putting in the late challenges and booking someone, because that would have solved this situation. We wouldn't be looking at it now. So it's all on him, what's happened in this second half. I think it's a bad one. The trailing leg catching that ankle looked bad to me.
Yeah, as I say, I didn't catch a good glimpse of it at all. Yeah,
I
I'm
just,
expecting a couple of weeks anyway. Like, but I'm just,
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine so. Yeah.
I was just addressing kind of talk on Twitter that I saw after the game that was like, it looks like Kamara's season could be over. I don't think it's that. I obviously hope it isn't that. I take if someone was to say he'll be out for 3 weeks now, I go, okay, that's okay. I can live with that, you know. But hopefully, did it and turned under the player. I didn't see that. I only saw it in real time. I didn't see any replays on it at all.
You know when you're dealing with a good, honest guy, when he puts in a tackle and you see him bouncing straight back up, he signalled. It just looked bad. The minute he signalled, you know, he's after feeling something there. He's either after feeling a crack or an absolute strain. That's what I took out of it anyway.
I don't think it's going to be a crack or anything like that, because I know they lifted him off, but they more or less let him walk on the sideline.
Well, that's the thing. He probably would. Crack was probably the wrong shot, but he definitely felt some kind of pop or discomfort. Yeah. If he said there was a crack, they wouldn't have let him get up. They would have lifted him off.
Another person I want to give, I think the yellow card kind of sullied his, I suppose his ratings on whatever rating sites you watch will be low because of his yellow card. But I thought Alex Moreno had some good attacking intent. Some other things he did, he just needs to keep it a small bit more simple. I think at times, but I thought he was okay. He pulled the guy back and got a yellow card for it. He came off. I think he came off because of that yellow card, and Luca Dean came on. I see Jimmy Lassant here asks, why does he replace Moreno with Dina? I think in this specific situation here, I think it was due to that yellow card and not giving the
yellow card, and the fact that one stupid challenge, and he would have evened it up, because that's the kind of geezer you're dealing with here now. Yeah. So I would have made the exact same thing, especially when you've got a ready-made replacement on the bench.
I'm not even going to show that comment. Anyway, let's move on. We have been talking about players that we think didn't actually play well today, so I don't know about this. I thought we were sloppy in possession today, Paddy, and going forward, there was one or two people that I think, like Buendia, I think was very much in try hard mode for a good bit today. I think he was sloppy with his passing today, but closed off an awful lot of channels. We couldn't really get firing. Like, I think at one stage, I think in the first half, Watkins had 2 passes in the whole first half and 1 shot. So like that was kind of showed our game. We did an awful lot of our stuff around the back, in between our two central midfielders. And when we tried to get into attacking areas, we weren't able to do that. And I think that kind of showed. And I think that's fair enough to say we were slow. We were even slow when Leon Bailey came on. And when Bailey came on, we turned around, and there was a couple of times, we went back with the ball instead of driving at players as well. But that's okay, as I said. It's okay to sit here and say we came out of this with a we came out of this with a 1-0 win, and I think that's okay. The 3 points are there. Before the game, Paddy, we were talking about now I think it's a valid question. I think every reporter is going to be looking at Unai Emery and going, yeah, you won't be putting 8 on the bench the next time, Unai. I don't think you'll be doing that the next time. And I don't think you'll be putting 2 goalkeepers. Well, maybe he will be putting 2 goalkeepers. But if the Kamara injury is bad, if Dendoncker is out for longer for personal reasons, if because Coutinho won't be back anytime soon either, not for the next couple of weeks, we're going to need to start seeing the Aaron Reikis, the Arjen Reikis, the maybe the Tommy O'Reillys and stuff like that. We're just going to need to dip into the bucket somewhere. We're
going to have to. We didn't strengthen adequately in the January market. He made his case for not strengthening in January. He has to live by that sword now. So, let's face it, at 34 points, we're absolutely safe. I'm still annoyed that we didn't push on, because I think Europe was attainable at the turn of the year, and the last few results have probably tainted that a little bit. The Arsenal and the Man City one have kind of put a stop on that.
I think the Leicester one was the one that
the Leicester was the killer. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, so we went 3 games with no points, and that was a killer. But if we're going to need those young guys on the bench they're going to be important to us. We might need to see a couple of them out there. Reiki, I'm sure, can hold his own in that midfield position if he needs to. I can see what he says about the youngsters not being. I'm just going to take an example of what John Duran did there at the end, where we're all willing him to run into the corner with the ball, and he cuts inside and tries to blast one into the roof of the net. It was hilarious. It was
That's
just
the frivolity.
I just looked at a 10-year-old boy there, and the look on his face after it.
Yeah. He's probably looking, going, if this one hits the back of the net, Juan Pablo Angel is here. Must be one of his idols, obviously one of the highest scoring Colombian players, international players, and whatever else. So, I think you can see that it would have meant a lot to him to score, and nothing came of it. So fair play to him, as I say. 3 points is 3 points. And we should nearly just not call this Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace post-match. We should just say 3 points is 3 points and leave it at that. But as you say, this would have been one of those perfect games to get in, get out of Villa Park, build up confidence, only for our Rolls Royce is after blowing a tire. And I don't mean to be flippant with regards to that comment. It's just not nice to see, that tackle, and it's not nice to see him or any of the Aston Villa players go off injured like that. We hope that we see some good news.
And I'm hoping it's just blowing a tire and not blowing a fucking gasket. That's the problem. That's the worry. Because we can't afford injuries in that position, especially with Dendoncker out for whatever reason. So look, I thought Chambers come on and did a job for us. I know admittedly it was against 10 men. He didn't do a whole pile wrong. It was, just going back to your initial comment, it was sloppy at times, but I think that was more to the fact that the game was very compact. The positions were very compact. There wasn't an awful lot of space out there, and I think when they haven't got the ball, that's their game, is to just try and compact the other teams as much as possible.
Yeah, I think so.
My stats here is telling me we had a shot on target. So I don't remember a shot on target. Do you?
I'll tell you now. I don't remember one on target, but Ollie Watkins hit the post. McGinn had a shot on target, didn't he?
McGinn had a shot on target. So we nearly went the whole game without a shot on target and winning the game. So that's not bad at all, is it?
Philly D, thank you for the 11-11 super chat. Thank you very much.
Forever 11.
Also, I missed one at the top there as well from the wonderful Matt Hallinan as well. Thank you so much, Matt. I missed you, Matt. Delighted that we won today. So thanks a million for that as well. Do you know what, Lee? This is a funny one. I actually thought when Kamara went off, instead of bringing in Leon Bailey, I thought Ashley Young might come in instead of him. Not into that defensive midfielder role. Ashley Young being the Swiss Army knife that he is at this moment in time. I think Chambers was the right call to make it coming in there, obviously, because he's the one that's played there before. But I think, maybe playing an Ashley Young, if we were to bring in an Ashley Young player in front of Cash or vice versa, to solidify that midfield, albeit we were against 10 men, I thought that maybe that might be the call. But I can see why Bailey would have come on for his pace. But once again, I'm going to say it, Paddy, so that you don't get it, so that it isn't you always saying it about Bailey. He needs to start living up to this potential. He needs to start being consistent, and he needs to start, getting those bums off seats like we all expected him to do, because, he comes on today, and I know he probably didn't want to do anything wrong, but, the electricity from him that we saw in his first few games when he played with the club, it's ever so slimly in view now. Leeds, very good against Leeds, haven't really seen an awful lot of that from him since. We're going to need him. We're going to need everybody in the team. It's not a case of blowing people out of it here. We're going to need people to up their games. We're going to need people to be part of that squad. It's just a comment, I suppose, really on Leon Bailey with regards to, he comes on today, and we're going to need him for the rest of the season. So we're going to need him to figure out what's going on and to improve on it. He must be doing something in training. Let's start seeing it on the field. Paddy, I don't know if I have anything more to say about this, and I'll be shot if I stay outside here another minute longer. But do you have anything else that you want to cover off before we finish up? Because it seems that I so rudely cut you off. Oh, by the way, Paddy said we were going to win 1-0. It was going to be an own goal and the Courier was going to be sent off. That's what he said when you guys couldn't hear it at the end of the team sheet tantrum. So, yeah, oops, awkward now.
I changed my mind.
Anything you want to go through before we finish up?
No, look, we've got 3 points. It's disappointing that we've lost Boubacar Kamara, but I think it's onwards and upwards. Hopefully the injury isn't too bad. And let's put things in perspective and take the tone down a little bit. We've had some scary news this week when an old friend of the podcast, Deck Pierce, is recovering at home after a fairly serious health issue. So we wish Deck all the best in his recovery. He seems to be recovering well, and long may that continue. And I'm glad the lads got 3 points from him today as he was sitting recuperating, no doubt, at home with his wonderful family.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that. I want to echo that as well. Thinking of you, Deck Pierce, out there. And yeah, it's great to hear that you're recuperating there. And hopefully that Villa win has given you a right smile today as you watched it. But yeah, thinking of you and hoping that recovery goes really, really quickly, as I say. And hopefully Villa keep winning to keep that recovery on track as well. I think that's going to do it. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. We've 333. I know for all of you guys out there, when I go to the UK or when I go anywhere outside of Ireland, Irish people are asked to say 33 and a third or 333 because we don't pronounce our THs most of the time in Ireland. So I just thought it was funny when I saw it up there in the top left-hand corner. But thanks so much, everybody, for everything you do for the podcast. Thanks a million for tuning in. I'm going to come back on tomorrow. I've got somebody in my mind that I think would be a good fit for Aston Villa. I'm going to do a little bit of a scouting podcast on him. I hope you like those. If there's anybody out there that you think would be a good fit for Villa and you want me to do a podcast on him or take a look at him, please send them through to me. My DMs are open. I will be delighted to do them. But until tomorrow, everybody enjoy your weekend. Enjoy tonight. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Villa have another 3 points. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.